Good morning, everyone. My name is Bob, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Before we start, if you're not watching this in the morning, stop watching and watch it in the morning, otherwise my opening would not make sense. So you know what to do now. Anyways, good morning. Today, I am not the one driving the ARL-44 because I sold mine a long time ago, and I sold it with a smile because I'm happy to never play it ever again. Because in my opinion, the ARL-44 is worse at being a tank than a Ford Fiesta. It has no armor, it is slow. The only good thing about it is its gun, but the rate of fire is absolutely atrocious, so I hate it. But luckily, it's not me driving this turd on tracks, it is the Gold Risk. And the Gold Risk is currently the commander of QSFL. And he's not only a good commander, he's also a good friend of mine. I joined QSFL actually a year ago, a couple of days ago, and the Gold Risk was, I think, already in L at that point. Something's changed, he left and then came back, I became an XO, and then I made the Gold Risk an XO. And he is an absolutely amazing leadership type of person. He knows how to handle people. There were about 80 people in the clan, and he talked to absolutely everyone. And he had nicknames for 79 of them because he doesn't have a nickname for himself. But he knows how to handle meetings, he knows how to organize stuff, he constantly is there ready for the clan to jump in. He had a couple of internet issues. For a long time his ping was an average of about 1500 to 2000 milliseconds. But he was still there during strongholds, he was there during the campaign. He commanded during the campaign when there was no other commander there. He was just there, always ready to help. And that's why I think he's such a good commander. And back to the whole nickname part. He does have nicknames for himself, but none of them are constant. He calls himself the Silver Risk, the Lag Risk, the Gold Pope. Everything that just sort of mixes with his name. And the reason he has nicknames for all of his members is because he's really bad with names. There is a member called Akropovic, and he likes to call him Dragos. Because Dragos is much better to remember than Akropovic. And so the list goes on and on and on. Currently, QSFL has 57 members and quickly growing. And I'm pretty sure that the Gold Risk has a nickname for every single one of these members. And sometimes I feel the Gold doesn't get the amount of appreciation he needs. Or deserves even. Because after the QSFL to QSFE transfer, we left the Gold Risk with about 32 members. That has grown to almost double that, and he is still working on getting the clan to grow. They started doing strongholds not too long ago. They want to up their requirements back to what it was and start up tier 8 strongholds again. And I appreciate, you have no idea how much I appreciate the Gold for what he's doing for QSFL and QSF in general. So if you ever find yourself in QSFL and you see that the Gold Risk is the commander, you know you are in very good hands. I know a member that joined recently, Lizzie, and I know she's in good hands with the Gold Risk because the Gold Risk is such an amazing person. He is nice to absolutely everyone. Even when he's in a bad mood, he will be nice to you. But I think that is enough talk about the Gold Risk and how awesome he is. I want to talk about why I disliked the ARL-44 and many other French tanks for that matter. Right, so the ARL-44. First of all, it is not a small tank. It is a rather big tank, compared to other tanks of its tier. Not comparing to the OI, but the problem is it doesn't have armor to go with the size. Admittedly, the frontal armor is, on the whole, 120mm sloped back, and that can be quite useful in tier 6 and even tier 7 matches. But the turret armor is poop on a stick. It will not bounce anything. You cannot side scrape in the ARL-44 because the side armor is so thin, everything can just pen it without any trouble whatsoever. You know what, before I continue, I have to say this is my own personal experience. Yours may vary, and maybe you like the ARL-44. You are a weird person if you do, but I didn't like it. And let's talk about the gun. The gun is It depends on which gun you use. There are many different guns you can use. There's the 90mm DCA 45, which a lot of people will use, because it is used on every single French tank up to tier 9. And there's the 105mm Canon 13TR. And that's the gun that Gold is using today. And the weird thing about that gun is when you fire APCR, you get more penetration, but you also get 30 more alpha damage. Yeah. Now, I don't know how that works, but the French somehow figured it out. Before I continue about how bad French tanks are, the Gold Risk is basically owning this match, apparently. He is now in the enemy base, he's killed 2 artillery so far, and he is going to win this match for his team. He took the middle aggressively, RT kept missing the shots, he hit his shots, well played by the Gold. And now back to French tanks. And then when you do use the DCA 45, you get 240 alpha, which is not bad. You get 212 pen, which is not bad. You get 10 degrees of gun depression, which is good. But the rate of fire is left to be desired. You will not quickly kill an enemy. You will punish him for making a mistake with your high alpha damage at tier 6, but you will not kill him quickly. And that's the same gun you will take with you to the AMX M4. And that is the tier 7 French heavy, which I also did not like, because it is basically the ARL 44, but in a different coat. And for some reason, I think all of the French tanks are support tanks. It doesn't matter if it's a heavy, a medium, or a light. Well, you know, lights are basically support tanks. Or a TD. I think they're all support tanks. And that's not the kind of player I am. I am not a support player. I like to be either in the front taking shots and getting hit and dying or winning the game, or sit in the back and cry. I just don't like supporting, especially when I'm in a heavy tank. And sadly enough, that Gold just got killed. His reign of terror in the ARL 44 came to a swift and abrupt ending due to a T-34. Okay, you know, that's a way of killing a tank, I guess. Good job, Hufflepuff. And then Lorindes here kills the last tank and wins the game. And here it is me, driving my tier 8 heavy support tank, the AMX 5100. And before I continue about the AMX 5100, mine is stock. Well, sort of, half stock. I have the engine, I have the tracks, I have whatever, except for the good gun. I'm still using my AMX M4 gun in an autoloader form. So I only have 240 alpha damage, I have 212 penetration, but my clip reload is not 50 seconds, but 32 seconds. And speaking of autoloaders, when the French tanks were introduced, which was a long time ago, like we're thinking back in, I can't remember if it was beta or the full game, but when they were introduced, the French tanks were the only tanks to have autoloader guns. And that brought quite a bit of confusion among the World of Tanks community. Everyone that sort of knew how to play the game knew the reload of the enemy tank and could think and count and when they are reloaded. So when they faced, for example, an AMX 1375, they thought, oh, it fired, I can poke out and take a shot at him. But then the AMX 1375 shoots again, and again, and again, and again. And that leaves the guy that wanted to attack him completely confused, baffled, and mad at the game, and eventually, you know, the developers, because it's always the fault of Serb and his team of scary developers. So when you do finally get up to tier 8, you get the autoloader gun, you miss out on armor. I'm not even kidding, you lose armor for the autoloader gun. So you get a clip potential and you can kill an enemy really fast, but he will be able to pen you no matter what you do. And that's why it is a support tank. You don't have any armor. You cannot go barging into the front like an IS-3 and expect I'm going to bounce at least 4 shots, because the IS-3 has troll armor and the 5100 is made out of cardboard. I think by now you've noticed that I don't really like the French tanks, do you? Yeah, this started with the AMX-12T. It was a slow tank, it didn't have armor, its clip potential was absolutely atrocious, and it was moved up to tier 6, where it was even more useless. So hey ho, what you going to do? And then I tried the TDs because I had no interest whatsoever in the heavy tanks, and the TDs were not much better. I got up to the Samoa S40, and then I just gave up on tanks for, I think, a month because, oh, did I hate that tank. So you must be wondering if I'm talking so much smack about if I'm talking so much smack about French tanks. Why do I own the 3090? Why do I own the AMX 5100? Why am I going to own the Lorraine 40T soon? Clan Wars and Strongholds. I'm going to need these tanks for my clan, and that is the only reason why I am currently playing the 5100. To unlock the gun and then never ever play it again in random battles. You know, while recording that piece of voice, it made me think. Once I start playing the 5100 in Strongholds, one day I'm going to unlock the AMX 5120. And then I'm going to have to play that tank in random battles. Oh boy. Oh god, I don't want to. Please kill me now, or someone else do it for me, because I don't want to. Please. You know what? I'm going to need some cheering up. I'm going to talk about the FCM 50T. The tier 8 premium tank that is French, and that is a good tank. If there is any tank that is premium that I would recommend and you have a French crew, it is the FCM. It is, you know, it makes money. It is a crew trainer, it does all the good stuff premium tanks do, but it is fast. It has somewhat armor, it is pretty sloped, it can bounce tier 6, tier 7 and sometimes even tier 8 guns. And the gun is good, the gun depression is good. Everything about the tank is, it's not great, it's either good or mediocre, but it's not bad, it's never bad. You can probably remember last week I said the IS-8 was basically a medium tank. Well, that is what the FCM 50T is. If it is top tier, it can function as a heavy tank and fight the battles heavy tanks need to do, and if it's bottom tier or mid tier, it can take up the role of medium tanks as well because it is so fast. You can flank around with that tank. I don't know why, but I really love the FCM 50T. No, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I know exactly why I love the FCM 50T. It is maneuverable, the gun is good, it is a great platoon tank, as you might have seen a few times on QB's stream, and it makes credits. What else do you need? Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. The aim time. The FCM 50T has got 2.2 seconds aim time without any modifications or equipment fitted on the tank. Wow! None of the other French tanks, except for maybe the Foch 155, has a good aiming time. And that's another reason why I hate French tanks. It takes so bloody long to aim your gun. And in a nutshell of basically 14 minutes and 15 seconds, that's why I hate the French tanks. Their armor is bad, their speed is mostly mediocre, the gun is bad up to the autoloaders where it is still not great, the aim time is long, and the only thing the French tanks really have is their autoloaders, and they are very annoying when you are getting clipped by a tank. And that's it. That's the trick the French tanks do. And guess what? The Americans have an autoloader line as well. From the T-71 up to the T-57 Heavy, but they actually have armor that counts for something. Well, I say something, I mean you still can pen them. But you have a bigger chance of bouncing in the American autoloader line than in the French autoloader line. So yeah, the French tanks. One trick ponies, and that's it. You know, up until tier 8 for the heavies, where the 5100 is not slow. 5120 is not slow, the 50B is not slow at all. And the light tanks are, well, from the 3090 up, not slow as well. But yeah, that's it. They have a bit of speed in the higher tiers, and an autoloader gun that is very annoying, but no armor. So hey ho, what do you think of the French tanks from tier 3 upwards? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that's going to hate me for what I've said this video. Maybe I should not upload this video, because it is basically 15 minutes of ranting about a tank line. Wow. But look at me involving the YouTube comments again. Yay. And actually I got more responses than I expected last video. I got 15. Nah, I got 25. Somewhere in the 30? I think 30. I think I got 30 comments. I'm too lazy to look back now. I'm just talking into my microphone and looking at my Tankfest code for a Churchill 3, which I still haven't given out or anything. Actually, can I still give these out? New. Actually, I can. So yeah, if someone wants a Churchill 3 invite code, then tell me in the comments. Yeah, I still need to talk for, I think, 3 minutes about something. So I'm going to talk about my day. It's been a rainy day. It's still raining outside, but I got to sleep in today. I woke up at 11 AM. Had a bit of cornflakes. I sat down. And I started to think about what I had to say this video for, for tomorrow. Well, today. And apparently what came out wasn't funny at all. I should work on that. More funnies. It's difficult. You know, that's difficult. It's difficult to be funny on cue. Because I have to write jokes about tanks. And tanks are, you know, more serious than jokey. Instead of, ha, you shot that guy's head off. It's more of a, oh my god, you shot that guy's head off. Kind of jokes. It's not really jokes, are they? I still have to talk for 45 seconds. What can I do for 45 seconds? I can sit in my chair and make old man noises. You know, like... Get off my lawn! You know, that kind of stuff. Or something I've been doing with John Harmon for maybe a week or so, maybe a bit longer, is tell each other really bad puns and then just die a little bit inside. Oh, that's always fun. For example, why were the Indians first in America? Because they had reservations. Yeah, I'll take my exit. Dude, I need to have my outro.